Awashde. My name is Tatanka Ayotanka, the man you call Sitting Bull. I was born to the Hunkpapa tribe of the Lakota Sioux in the Dakota Territory. It must have been 1832 or so, according to the white man's calendar. Life was good before the white man came. The Wasichu, as we call them, had not yet chased us out of the land that the Great Spirit gave us to enjoy. When I was born, I was given the name of Jumping Badger, but it did not stick. Instead, because of my deliberate ways, even as an infant, everyone called me Slow. I was blessed with my parents' affection and gentle but persistent instruction. Many of the games we played as children taught us the skills that will serve us well in later life. Young girls would play with dolls and toy teepees. In this way, they would learn how to build a real teepee once they grew up and learned about keeping a lodge. I was taught early on to ride horses so that I would become a great warrior. My father taught me not only to fight, but also to be a good hunter. By the time I was 10, I was a famous hunter. My specialty was buffalo calves, and I gave the calves that I killed to the poor. There was plenty of buffalo, and we knew no hunger. The buffalo provided for us in many ways. Even their bones were used to make knives and awls. Nothing was wasted. At the age of 14, I went with a party of warriors to search for crow horses and scalps. We attacked the crow braves, and I counted my first coup. Counting coup was when we would touch the enemy without their knowing it, and without killing them. It was a sign of bravery. An older warrior finished off the poor crow. I was no longer called Slow. I was given the name of Tatanka Ayotanka, or Sitting Bull. Like a buffalo sitting on its haunches, I would fight to the death. I was known as a singer of songs, and I wrote many songs myself. Many times when I was a young brave, I would play a song for a beautiful maiden, and in the stillness of the prairie night, she could hear it and know its meaning. Meet me at the creek tomorrow, my flute would cry out. Each time a war party went out, I would go with them. I seldom came back without another coup. I was becoming known as a great warrior. Once, I got wounded in the leg during the battle with the Crows. But I got off my horse and killed this man. There were no prisoners in that fight. Sometimes the Lakota used to take prisoners and give them clothes, feed them, and give them good ponies, and then send them back so they could tell a good story of the Lakota to their people. Eventually, I became a chief. An Indian must make himself a chief by his bravery. In time, I became chief of all the Sioux tribes. I was not only a chief, but a spiritual leader to my people as well.
He was kind to his people, compassionate and generous. He also loved animals, especially birds. He would imitate their song, and he was said to understand what the meadowlark says.
When I was a young man, I married a maiden that I had been courting. Her name was Light Hair. Then a sad thing happened. Not long after we were married, she died during childbirth, but she gave me a son. But at 4, he caught a disease and died. I grieved so much for my young son that I adopted my nephew, Wunbo, who was the same age as the son I had lost. I raised him as if he were my own son, and he became a skilled warrior and remained loyal to me the rest of my life.
Except for special occasions, Sitting Bull dressed like a common man, although he was well off. He wasn't arrogant like some chiefs. He listened to people without interrupting them. He also had a good sense of humor. I have been in his lodge many times and listened to the people tell funny stories.
My father was killed by a crow. We had just broken camp and on our way when a war party of crow attacked us. They killed 2 boys who were walking ahead of the rest of us, and another boy in front of our eyes. We assembled and gave chase. My father, although in his 60s and too old to fight, insisted on chasing this one crow. But the crow turned on him and thrust his knife into his neck. When I arrived and saw my father dead, I killed the crow, who was now surrounded by Lakotas. I was in such a rage that I hacked the crow's body to pieces. Later that night, after the fighting was over and my rage had cooled, it had been decided by the village to put to death some captured crow women and a child to avenge my father's killing. But I intervened and said to them, "If you do this for my sake, take care of them instead, and let them live. My father is a man, and this is his death." Soon they were released and sent home.
Ready?